Alright, everyone, welcome back to the UFD franchise. No voodoo at this moment because my recording software decided to be dumb. So we do not have the first portion of this video. So I'm re-recording it right now on my own, and then voodoo will be plugged right back in once we get through this portion. Luckily, we didn't miss a lot of it, but just got to go through the player stats and then part way through the team stats. So let's just get chugging here. So the Kings this year, we'll start with them. Perry Little at quarterback, rookie. We expected this. This is kind of an ugly stat line because of the O line that he's behind. Um, but still, honestly, not the worst production there. 3,600 yards, 18 touchdowns, 10 picks, 59 completion percentage, sacked 56 times. Obviously, not pretty at all, but I think there's upside with Perry Little as long as they improve the O line. Run game wise, saw J.K. Dobbins, J.K. Dobbins, almost 800 yards on the season, 4.4 yards per carry, 7 touchdowns, fumbled the ball twice. He missed 2 games, so that affected a little bit, but also just the split was a little bit more than I think we anticipated with Sam Paulson and Atkinson also getting involved, and then also Perry Little ran it 78 times himself. Um, the other guys who got a majority of the carries weren't nearly as efficient as Dobbins, but um, that is noteworthy that they were involved. Receiving wise, though, Jordan Tyson really turned it on, especially on the back end of this year. Yeah, he was great. 82 catches, 1,200 yards, 9 touchdowns. Eli Stowers in his first year starting, 65 for 721 and 2 touchdowns, so nice year for him. And then Andre Yoshivas, 45 for about 650 and 2 touchdowns. Not a bad season. And then Tutu Atwell, 52 catches for 600 yards, no touchdowns. Dobbins did get involved through the air, 28 catches, 230 yards, and 2 touchdowns. But blocking is where this team, I think, struggles offensively most. Billy Schrouth gave up 18 sacks from the left guard position. That is really bad. They need to replace him and improve that left guard spot, but also the right tackle spot. Warren McClendon, 14 sacks given up in 16 games. Not great. Definitely need to improve there, but also surprisingly, Broderick Jones at left tackle wasn't terrible. I mean, 9 sacks is amazing, but much better than we've seen on this O line, especially last year. He gave 16 sacks, so I think in the grand scheme of things, you're maybe okay with him staying around another year and then just focusing on replacing McClellan and Schrouth. Outside of that, Hunt gave up 6 sacks, 4 for Matthew Bright, and 1 for Cage Casey when he played for a tiny bit of time, probably to replace Warren McClellan for his game that he missed. Defensively, though, this team took a big step up. Marte Mapu, 131 tackles, led the team. You also saw Davison Ogbenosin with 108 and Blackman with 102. TFL's 8 for Burke Collins and Yuman Bielen. Sacks, though, unfortunately not going to show up currently. But Daniil Hunter, because he retires, spoiler alert, had 15 sacks, I believe. And then Josh Burke with 10.5. 10 for Zaven Collins, 5.5 for Jonathan Allen, and 5 for Princely Yuman Mielen. We also won't see Kenny Moore here either because of the same reason. I don't think he had anything super crazy other than tackles. He was above 100, I think. Also, I think he had a couple of interceptions, but Marte Mapu led this team in interceptions with 6. Deflections was Julian Blackman with 10. No, there was only 1 forced fumble, and it was from Kenny Moore, who had the recovery as well. Outside of that, none of those other special things. I think maybe Daniel Hunter had a safety. Will Farron was pretty solid this year. Had a blocked field goal, but other than that, only missed 4 on the year. And punting, Jack Stonehouse was pretty good with about a 49 net average, 18 in the 2016 touchbacks. nothing really noteworthy on the return game. Voodoo and I, for the team MVP, we actually gave this one to Marte Mapu because they were really lacking a linebacker last season. They signed him in the offseason, and he was everywhere. He did a bit of everything: 131 tackles, 7 TFLs, 2.5 sacks, 6 interceptions, 3 deflections. He was great, and he missed the game. But yeah, he was a good leader on this defense, for sure. Looking at the Battlehawks here as the next thing. Battlehawks are interesting because they didn't really do well this year, but the stats look weird, right? Daniel Jones, honestly, not horrible. 3,700 yards, 28 touchdowns to only 7 picks, 60 completion percentage. Did get sacked 58 times, which was most in the league, but still, I mean, it's weird because I feel like his stat line doesn't accurately show how he did. I feel like this is better than he actually showed. But the completion percentage was the big, I think, reason we saw the losses there, just not being efficient and completing those important passes. But Daniel Jones, not a horrific year, but we'll get to a reason why that's the case. But first, we'll go to rushing. Jordan Mason, almost 1,000 yards on 3.8 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns, fumbled it 3 times. Not a bad year by any means. Could work on his efficiency, but not too bad. And Shantavius Lowry was more of a change of pace guy. Had about 250, 2 touchdowns, and a fumble, 3.0 yards per carry. Daniel Jones had 50 carries for under 200 yards, but not a bad run game here, but definitely could still see some improvement. Receiving wise, this is the big benefactor, or Daniel Jones is the big benefactor, I should say, of Jeremy Bernard. 90 catches, almost 1,500 yards, and 15 touchdowns. Crazy good year. He was awesome. And then big drop off down to Josh Palmer, 64 for about 700 and a touchdown. Jalen Tolbert, 47 for 620 and 6 touchdowns. Noah Gray, 45 for 450 and 3 touchdowns. A little bit from Mason and Lowry and Fant, but in the grand scheme of things, yeah, this was a Jeremy Bernard offense with some other contributors. So definitely could improve their to get another weapon in there to take the weight of this offense off of Bernard's back. Blocking wise, the tackles were not great. The two young tackles here, Harris and Cunningham, both gave up too many sacks. 18 for Cunningham, 15 for Harris. Cade Mays gave up 6 from the center. That's not great, but not terrible, I guess. But then Mason McCormick and Kingsley Suamataia both gave up 5 and 4. And then Damian Lewis retired from this, so we won't see him. I think he had 6 sacks as well. But overall, not great, especially from the tackle spot. Tackling, Justin Jefferson led with 128. Saw a lot of him still. TFLs, you saw Braden Fisk with 14, Redmond with 11. And sacks-wise, this is where this team really improved. 13.5 for Jermaine Johnson, 11 from Jalen Redmond, and Braden Fisk with 10.5. Also, Servocia Dennis with 8.5. Nathaniel Watson with 7. Yeah, this is a these two D tackles. I know Voodoo loved talking about this. They were a great signing. Redmond and Fisk, 2 great signings, came in and balled out and brought a lot of production. Not only on the sack side of thing, but also against the run. So that was a huge acquisitions in the offseason. Interceptions, not a ton. Cooper DeJean had 2. The rest of the guys here had 1. Deflection leader goes to Nathaniel Watson with 6. And this team forced 0 forced fumbles the entire year, which is kind of crazy. Trey Smack at kicker, not amazing, but not awful. Missed a PAT, missed 6 field goals out of his 28. But none were blocks, so, not ideal, but not horrific. And Tommy Doman Jr., 47.4 yards per, or net average, I should say. not terrible, and nothing to note with the return game. So Voodoo and I, for the MVP, we decided it has to be Jeremy Bernard. This offense, literally non-existent without him. Um, so yeah, he carried here because defensively, you look at like the big three and sack leaders here. It's like that's more of a group effort. Um, whereas offensively, Daniel Jones is just nothing without without Jeremy Bernard, with almost a third of his completions going to him. Um, with about what I think that's probably like 40% of his yardage. Also, over half his touchdowns going to Jeremy Bernard as well. Yeah, that's yeah, big reason why Daniel Jones actually looked okay this year. Um, then let's go to my Renegades here at quarterback. We saw Kyler for 3 games, the first 3. Not a bad start, obviously. 750, 6 touchdowns and a pick, 61 completion percentage, sacked 9 times in his 3 games. But it was a weird situation. So I feel like he wasn't bad by any means. He didn't get benched because of his play. I just felt like we needed a switch here to Andrew Cooks. And, I'm glad we did what we did because those reps were huge down the line, at least, to get him to be better. I know statistically it doesn't look fantastic with 3,100 yards, 16 touchdowns, 11 picks, 61 completion percentage, sacked 35 times. Obviously, not a lights out rookie year or anything, but I do think he brought some more juice down the line when it mattered. Um, and he's our guy anyways. He was our 4th overall pick here. We wanted to get him involved, and we do, and we'll hopefully see him progress more and see what he can do. But rushing wise, this is the guy here that kept this offense afloat. Kenneth Walker played every game, 256 yards or attempts for almost 1,300 yards at 5.0 yards per carry, 10 touchdowns, fumbled it twice, and just did not involve anyone else as much. 47 attempts for Cooks, 47 for Claiborne, 48 for Miller, all under 200 yards, and a handful of touchdowns for each of them. But yeah, Kenneth Walker carried this offense for sure. But receiving wise, not a bad year for Xavier Lee yet again. 77 for almost 1,000 yards and 3 touchdowns. Zach Lacey, the rookie, with 63 catches, almost 800 yards and 9 touchdowns. Missed a game as well. He had a very nice rookie season. A.D. Mitchell didn't start the first handful of games, but came in as our new slot receiver and put up some good stats. 57 for 640 in 2 touchdowns. Jeremiah Baker had 50 for almost 600 and 4 touchdowns. Kenneth Walker had 35 for 330 and 2 touchdowns. Dribbling, 22 for 250, no touchdowns before he got benched. Not a bad production standpoint from considering the rookie quarterback coming in and still having to develop. Offensive line, outside of Tommy Myers, wasn't horrible. But Tommy Myers, he was a guy that constantly had penalties against him and gave up 18 sacks. Just not good. Not good. Hoping for better there. Also, another spoiler, Colton McKivitz retired, so we didn't see his stat line here. He didn't have too many sacks either. But Aaron Brewer with 5. Skoronski, who again was halfway through with 4, which is still pretty good. Cody Mock with only 3. Slaughter with 1. And then obviously don't see Emory Jones, and we don't see Max Iannachore's sacking statistics because they got traded midseason. Defensively, C.J. Allen with 181 tackles led the league in tackles. Also, Jonas Sanker, Tyke Smith, and Dax Hill with 100 plus. In terms of TFL leaders, Nick Scorton and Chris Braswell both had 9. Sacks, though, Nick Scorton with 16.5, 9.5 for Eric Wright, 8.5 for Cole Good, 5.5 for C.J. Allen. Braswell and Romello Height both 3.5. Also, just wanted to shout out Josh Fernandez, the rookie, 8 TFLs and 3 sacks for him. Interceptions, Jonas Sanker and Tyke Smith both had 3, 2 for Allen and Thorpe. And that was it, just those 4 guys there. Deflection leader was Dax Hill with 8, and he also led with the fumbles force with 3. A couple other guys had 1, and Dax Hill had at least 1 recovered, probably possibly 2, depending on this. This stat is always glitched, so unsure. Did have 2 blocks from the rookie Dante Stevenson, which is interesting, and then 1 from Chris Braswell. And Jonas Sanker had a defensive touchdown. Charlie Smith had a pretty good year again. Had an extra point blocked, had a field goal blocked. Outside of that, only missed 3 field goals on 35 attempts. Pretty good with the 57 long. Punting Ryan Wright, almost a 48-yard net average. Pretty solid year from him. And nothing, again, in the return game noteworthy. Voodoo and I, again, agreed. Kenneth Walker was the MVP of this team. While there were some really good defensive players that we could have picked, like C.J. Allen or Nick Scorton, we decided Kenneth Walker really lit this offense up to be able to be productive. And, yeah, he was awesome. So we are hoping for more from him next year as well. Moving on to the UFD champion Stallions here. You see Jack Colbert, the rookie first overall pick, had 4,200 yards, which puts him at 3rd in NFL history for rookie passing yards. Only behind Andrew Luck and Justin Herbert. But 20 touchdowns to 13 picks, 62 completion percentage, sacks 57 times. Obviously, not a pretty stat line either, but we saw early on in his career here, he started off really hot. Those first handful of weeks, he was really on fire here. And had a bit of a stretch here where it was ugly, and then he kind of picked it back up at the end of the season. But I think for a rookie campaign here, I think he did pretty well. And I think he'll absolutely improve. I do think this O-line underperformed heavily, which was the big reason why maybe he struggled more. But let's talk about the rushing. Jordan Brockers with 186 attempts, 755 yards, 8 touchdowns, a 4.1 yard per carry there. Fumbled the ball once, missed 2 games. So pretty efficient. Solid year from him, but still splitting a lot of time with other guys like Kenny Vidal, Kimani Vidal, 80 carries for almost 300 yards, 9 touchdowns. He was vulturing so many of those end zone, red zone touchdowns. And Woody Marks also picked up mid-season. Came in and saw some solid production, 47 attempts, almost 200 yards, 6 touchdowns. Colbert ran it 43 times for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. Yeah, I mean, run game wasn't bad by any means, but just definitely still seeing that split with Brockers having some limited carries here. Receiving wise, though, this is the 2 guys that really helped out Jack Colbert here. Mekhi Lemon, 102 catches, 1,300 yards, 4 touchdowns, and Trey Tucker, 94 for 1,100 yards and 5 touchdowns. 2 really good seasons there from those guys. And then a big drop off, but Jalen McMillan, solid number 3, 43 for 612 yards and 4 touchdowns. Michael Mayer was more of that short underneath guy with 51 for 435 and a touchdown. Brockers got a handful of work, almost 250 yards on 17 catches and a touchdown. Looking at blocking, Talise Fuaga gave up 13 sacks. Not great, but you're hoping he can improve there. Laramie Tunsil in 13 games gave up 12 sacks. Obviously, he actually didn't retire, which is surprising, but his age is showing. I think he's definitely regressing. Left guard Lamar Riddick with 9, not amazing, but not horrific. Jude Power gave up 5 in his 355 snaps played, not great. I also do believe Ryan Newsel retired at the center spot, and he had 9 sacks as well, which isn't great for a center. And then Osiris Torrance was very good, only 3 sacks given up on the year. So good for him. Looking at defense, tackles, Blake Cashman with 152 led the team. You also saw Spillane with 146 and Emmanuel Warren with 120. Tackle for loss leader was rookie TJ Leonard along with Jason Winkler and Josh Garcia. Sacks for Sean Gary had a breakout year here. Late career resurgence here, 14.5 sacks. Leonard had 7.5, 7 for Garcia, 6 for Winkler, 5.5 for TR Tart. Interceptions wise, Cam Taylor Britt led the team with 4. Hickson had 2 in his 12 games. He missed 5, and a handful of other guys there with interceptions. Reed Blankenship with 9 deflections led the team. With only 3 forced fumbles here, and looks like 2 were recovered. Had Taylor Lobato block a field goal, I believe, and a safety from TR Tart. Kicker Cam Little was pretty good. Had 1 blocked field goal, 1 blocked extra point, so he only missed 3 field goals on the year, with a 59 as his long on 31 attempts. Pretty good. And then Jordan Stout, not a team MVP worthy performance, but that's more indicative of the offensive performance than anything. Stout still had about a 48 yards net average, 11 inside the 20, 10 touchbacks. Still pretty solid year. And then once again, nothing really to note on the return game. And we both decided Jack Colbert was the MVP, not because of his stats necessarily, but because of the impact he had across the board. He brought this offense's floor up, and obviously the production for Lemon and Tucker was insane. So absolutely big reason why was because of Colbert. And the touchdowns aren't as high because of, we'll talk about it, but a lot of these touchdowns were on the ground here. Like, they always got some big chunks through the air into the red zone, but then you saw these running backs kind of clean up the touchdown side of things. But let's go ahead and look at the team stats here real quick. So we will jump back into the recorded video that's saved shortly once we get to the first downs, but I will go from left to right for offense and get to the first downs, and you will be back into a normal episode. So in terms of total yards gained this year, the Stallions were 5th in the NFL, followed by the Renegades in 6th, and then a big drop-off to the bottom of the league, Kings at 26th, Battlehawks at 27th. Looking at just total offensive yards, flip-flop a little bit. 9th, Renegades in the league led this division, 10th for the Stallions, and then 25th for the Battlehawks, Kings at 27th. Looking at passing yards, this is where the Stallions thrived here with 7th place in the league. And then down in the middle of the league, the Renegades at 17th. And then Battlehawks at 21st, 24th for the Kings. Then rushing, this is where the Renegades thrived, 6th in the league, and then a big drop off to 24th for the Stallions, 25th for the Kings, and 27th for the Battlehawks. In terms of points per game, Stallions were top 10, 8th in the league with about 24. 13th saw the Renegades. At 27th, you saw the Kings, and then 31st, you saw the Battlehawks. Passing touchdowns, the best in the division was Battlehawks with 17th in the league with 28 touchdowns, but still not a lot of passing touchdowns in this division. Then 26th, you saw the Renegades. 29th, you saw the Stallions, and then second to last, 31st, you saw the Kings with 18. Rushing touchdowns, this is where the touchdowns went for the Stallions. They were first in the league with 27 rushing touchdowns. At 9th, you saw the Renegades. At 11th, you saw the Kings. And then at 30th, you saw the Battlehawks. And now we will head back to normal video. So there you go. But yeah, so where was I? Yeah, so first downs, your offense was 4th. Mine was in 13th. Then you saw a big drop off again. Kings at 27th, 30th place for the Battlehawks. Giveaways, this is also a big reason why you saw some success from your team, but also my team tying you with 15 giveaways. Or that's actually not a good thing. Sorry, I'm looking at this
That's
wrong. Sorry. We both tied in 15th, which with 15, to be honest, not that big of a difference from the Battlehawks, who
yeah.
were only had 12. They were 18th place. You saw the Kings in 24th, and then we were tied with 27th, 28th. But yeah, I think biggest thing is you saw our offenses much better than the other teams. But I
It's
think
true.
the Kings at the very least, I think have a good future to build off of, and I do think you'll see their strengths elsewhere, and the Kings or the Battlehawks are just kind of, I don't know. I'm a little concerned with Daniel Jones' experiment. I really hope they gave the keys to Bernie Calhoun.
I think that'd be for the best, definitely upside wise. And where this team is, I think it's time to get a new guy under helm. And I'm sure a lot of the fans share that sentiment,
Yeah.
if I had to guess. But yeah, I mean, moving into defense, so we'll just kind of get to that right now. Battlehawks did have a top 5 defense in point. Sorry, not points. Total yards allowed. With, I mean, only 5,000, right around 5,000, which is 5th in the league. Followed by the Kings at 19th with 5,400. Your Renegades had right around 5,900 at 27th. And my Stallions, unfortunately, were last with almost 6,200, which is not very, very good. Moving to passing yards allowed specifically, the Battlehawks were even better in this category, 3rd. I mean, I think this is where they were good. I'm pretty sure they were they were 4th and 3rd last year in these categories. So, their secondary coaching and kind of how they handle, how they handle issues down the field is very good. They don't let up big plays. They don't let up tons of yardage. 3rd for the passing yards allowed for the Battlehawks this season. Kings at 20th with right around 3,800 passing yards allowed. The Renegades were 4,300, which puts them at 30th. And again, unfortunately, the Stallions are last, 4,600. I do remember some big plays happening on this defense. I'm pretty sure it's still actually technically worse of a pass defense than last year for the for the Stallions. Technically a slight upgrade for the Renegades over their last season.
There you go.
But a big upgrade for both teams here, actually, in rushing yards allowed for my team and your team. Your team leads this division in rushing yards allowed with only 1,500, 7th in the league. 8th in the league, right behind you there, only 4 more rushing yards allowed. The Stallions, the eighth best rushing defense. Both of us had a jump. Of course, I went from 28th to 8th. I went up 20 spots, but you also cracked into the top 10, and your run defense was very stout. Kings had a solid rush defense, about middle of the road here, 1,600, 16th place. And the Battlehawks, where they struggled defensively, was the run game. Not too big of a difference from the Kings, but 1,700 yards. And they definitely weren't wrapping up the run too well this season. Going to points allowed. This is why the Kings were 9-8. I think the Kings were 6th in points allowed, only 340 points allowed for the Kings this season. The Battlehawks, the next team here, 18th with 40 more points given up this season, 382. Your Battlehawks gave up, not your Battlehawks, your Renegades.
That is an insult.
Uh-oh.
Those are fighting words, dude.
Those are fighting words. 23rd for your Renegades with 399 points allowed, and my Stallions at 29th with 429 points allowed. It's not last. Hey, not last. You take those.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure it was it's second to last season.
The Dolphins sucked last year. They were horrible.
Yeah, no. Points allowed for this divisional round went down. If we look at last season's points allowed, everyone in this division except for the Stallions, of course, were actually pretty good. Definitely a bit of a step back for the division, but alas, pretty solid season, especially for the Kings, who had a very nice season. And sacks, this is where the teams dominated with the leader being, well, technically it's high. This is why I give the, of course, the underline means you're the highest category rank in the division. You both tied. I figured not worth it to go over the Madden ordering logic, so I just gave you both the tie here. The Battlehawks and the Renegades, 62 sacks each, third and fourth respectively, but technically tied for third. Very, very good season from both of your fronts.
Yeah.
The Kings aren't far behind, 57, sixth in the league. And the Stallions jump up to with 48 sacks, which is 13th in the league, which is a lot better than where they were last season. So improvement all around. I think all the defensive lines in this division were juiced up, and we're getting to quarterbacks more often. With fumble recoveries, you had the most by quite a margin here. 8 fumble recoveries for the Renegades puts you at 4th in the league. I mean, the next highest is 4th for the Stallions at 22nd. So it's very just interesting little stat there. 2 for the Kings, which puts them at 28th. And as we mentioned, Battlehawks did not force a single fumble nor recover one, puts them at 32nd, last in the league. Lastly, on the defensive side of things, the interceptions, Kings led with 13, puts them at 3rd this season. The Renegades and the Stallions are tied up with 10 each, 13th and 14th respectively. And the Battlehawks, as we mentioned, they aren't really a turnover-heavy team here. Only 7 picks this season, 23rd in the league.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. What do you think about the stats as a whole? Like, what like maybe just mention some outliers. Like, what's crazy about these stats to you?
I think it is. I'm shocked with how good the Battlehawks passing defense was, because their rush defense was horrific, pretty much. Not horrific, but it wasn't very good. And as a whole, their defense was not as good as last year. They couldn't really turn over the football, get turnovers. They did get a lot of sacks. There is that, but it's shocking that their pass defense was just really, really good. And I'm actually kind of shocked that the Kings, I feel like they would have been higher up in yards, or like they would have been lower than where they're at, like good lower, not bad lower.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess they were more of a bend don't break defense this year, especially with those turnovers and the points, and the sacks. I think played into that as well. Probably played a little bit more like the Renegades defense last year, where those big plays kept them in games, and won them games. Otherwise, the only other big one was your rushing touchdowns versus your passing yards, and that we already covered. But I think for the most part, very it makes sense. I think for when we just covered through the games, I think a lot of it looks very accurate. Otherwise, from what I remember.
Fair.
So
that is fair. There you go. There's your 2028 division stat breakdown there for the teams.
Yeah.
And what's next on the plate here, Mr. Slavic?
That is me. Well, not first, but the next thing we'll do is we'll quickly go through our top 3 games of the year. I'll start with my third. My third place one, I had to get one of my guys in there. One of my games. Yeah, I had to be biased with it. So I was. I was with this one. Week 11, you saw my Renegades take down the Arizona Cardinals in a thriller. This game was just super fun to watch. Both offenses clicking. Only one turnover. Very balanced time of possession. Mendoza was awesome. This was one of Cooks' best games. You saw Kenneth Walker with his 2 crazy plays. One through the air, one on the ground. McCaffrey had a nice, solid game all around. The receivers for the Cardinals were doing really well. It just came down to the wire. We had to see the rookie make that big drive to get that field goal. And yeah, it was just a super fun game to watch. It was the biggest thing with that. And yeah, so that is my third place. But what is your third
There you
place?
go. Well, actually, how about you talk about your second place because there's a bit of overlap here, and then I'll give
Okay.
my third and second.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. So yeah, my third place or second place, I should say, goes to um all the way in week 18. You know, there was a lot of strong contenders early. There's a lot of Thursday night football games that didn't make the cut for this, but they were strong early. But week 18, the last gasp, there was actually a really good game. Um, Actually quite a few close games, but this one specifically had no reason to be this crazy for a week 18 game. But these two teams in the playoffs here, they put up a banger, 39-36 overtime win for the Jags. Yeah, I mean both offenses were clicking, no turnovers. Bo Nix with 5 touchdowns, 300 plus yards. Trevor Lawrence was really good too. Travis Etienne was nice on the ground. Pat Bryant with a career game, 7 for 202 and 2 touchdowns was crazy. Troy Franklin had 3 touchdowns for some reason. Like just a crazy game, especially week 14. You saw Caden Proctor was a terrorist, gave up 4 sacks. Um, Nick Benito had 2.5. Travon Walker and Josh Hines Allen with 2 sacks apiece. Like, yeah, I mean this game, you don't see this happen in like this important of a game for in this like late of a week, like in this week where it's like you got teams sitting starters, obviously not in Madden, but in fake life, you'd hope they'd in real life they would, but you'd hope Madden would do that. They don't do that. They should do that. They should add that. Um, but yeah, this is not a week that you would expect that, especially with teams being fatigued and stuff. But they put up a banger, um, and that leads to your third place.
Yeah, my third place. Well, uh, that is your second place. Yeah, no, this Jags Broncos game was awesome, and yeah, definitely like could have been a game of the year number one in another season, but there were quite a few good games in this one, but it still makes the top three for a reason. I think, yeah, as you said, great game. Quarterbacks were balling out. Just a lot of fun plays and moments all around. So we'll quickly move on to my number two, which is different. We are going to go back to week 8 with an AFC West clash, one of the strongest division, probably the strongest division, without a doubt, actually, in this league this season, the AFC West, with all teams being in the playoffs. And this was just a classic showing of it. Chiefs Chargers here, 4 p.m. kickoff, and it popped off for no reason. Casey opened up with 14 points, and then the Chargers put up 21 in the second, and then the Chiefs also put up a touchdown, tied it all up in the at halftime. Chargers got a score in the third, and then the fourth, 28 total points thrown around again. So 2 quarters of 28 points thrown around, and yeah, it was just mayhem. Um, yeah, Justin Herbert had a good game, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Mahomes, 4 touchdowns. He had 2 picks. Marion Hampton had a nice game here, 2 touchdowns, 78 yards. Love also had a good game. So, like, there was some fun rushing productions, fun passing production. Savon Claiborne for the Chiefs absolutely broke out. 3 touchdowns, 153 yards, and Igbuka on the Chargers having a nice game, along with Chris Bell and Xavier Worthy. A lot of fun receiver showings. No terrorists on the blocking aspect of this one. 10 tackles for Derwin James, 2 TFLs for Deshaun Stuckey, and 2 sacks for Cade McDonald. He was a big playmaker, and 2 picks for the rookie Dylan Lindley. So they had a lot of Chargers had a lot of rookie production today. He also had 3 deflections. That's a great game
Yeah.
from a rookie corner. Yeah, no, I had to shout out this AFC West clash here, with plenty of scoring and plenty of fun.
Yeah.
But I guess me and you move on to the
Yes.
final one,
Yes, and
best game
we can just do
of the
it
season.
together here because we do have the same game of the year, and it is in week 5, and it's between two pretty good teams. The Lions, Detroit Lions, and Buffalo Bills on Sunday Night Football. Again, I know you might look at the scorings of all these games we're saying, and we're like, oh, you're just score merchants. You just really love high scoring games. It's like,
That's kind of how we got to do it. We can't watch the games.
yeah, I like for entertainment value in like just going off of what we can look at. Yes, it's tough to say. Like obviously, I would love to put some more like 20 to something games or whatever, like lower scoring, but it's not always that easy. And this game was just insane. Again, it kind of just went back and forth a ton. You know, Detroit was up 14-7, and Buffalo came back, put up 10 and then 7, and it was a 21-17 game and a half. And then Detroit put up 7, then Buffalo scored 14, which put them at, what is that, 35-28. And then Detroit managed to put up 10, and Buffalo put up 7 to tie it up in going into the overtime. And then Detroit calls game with the touchdown. Saw almost, over 900 yards of offense, which insane. And also, excuse me. Also, the insane thing is the way that these two teams played very different. Um, like Josh Allen was slinging the rock, and like Jared Goff was good, and he was throwing the ball, but their dominance was on the ground. Gibbs was crazy. You saw Kalen Black is their number 2 now, got involved quite a bit as well. Saw 2 fumbles from Mac Weber, the rookie running back for the Bills. Khalil Shakir had a nice day. A couple other guys, Amon-Ra St. Brown had 2 touchdowns. Yeah, it's just game. This game was just very fun. This is like just a clash of 2 titans, really. What do you think about this game too?
Absolutely. And yeah, no, and I think another thing to point out is the quarterbacks. I mean, Goff and Allen, these are, old quarterbacks at this point. And it was just fun to see these veterans of I would say, nearing a bygone era, just kind of slinging it and giving us a great game here that went to OT and was down to the wire. So, very fun game, fun polar, as you said, polar opposite ideas of how to run their offenses, and they were just beating each other up down the stretch. And 2 really good ball teams that are also in the playoffs on their respective sides in their conferences. And just game of the year, Lions, Bills, prime time, doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah.
Awesome game.
Yeah. There you go. And then we move on. We move on once more. And now we finally, I know it's been quite the journey to get here, but we are going to playoffs. But one little pit stop before we actually watch any game. We got to talk about our brackets. I'll show mine first here. So just go quickly through this. I won't have to spend too much time, I don't think. But my bracket goes as follows. In the AFC side of things, in the wild card, Steelers, I have them beating the Chargers. I think this one could go. This could be a surprise upset for the Chargers. I just think the Steelers are. I think their defense is just very good this year. A lot of my opinions were based on team statistics this year because there wasn't a ton of like hot streaks to go off of this year because all the teams were kind of like similar. So I went more with team statistics, and the Steelers just looked like they were the better team this year. Bills, Broncos, I think that one's like a 50-50 coin flip. I just think the Broncos defense is insane. They were insane this year. And I think Buffalo's defense, if I'm not mistaken, were not very good this year. So I think Broncos could upset. And then I have Chiefs beating the Jaguars on the road. I think the Jaguars are slightly on the downturn a little bit, and I think the Chiefs just their roster's insanely stacked, and I think they're gonna try to get one more from Mahomes at the very least. And the division on the AFC side, you see AFC West matchup Raiders and Broncos. Again, I think the Raiders are great, but I've seen the Raiders lose to inferior teams, and I think the Broncos are a way better team on paper and through statistics. So I think the Broncos win. Steelers, Chiefs, again, I think it's just that offense is just too much for the Steelers defense. And we see Chiefs, Broncos. That one was more of a coin flip. I think I go with the Chiefs barely. It's close, but I have them going to the Super Bowl, unfortunately. Uh, on the NFC side, I have the Lions beating the Rams at home. I think the Rams just they're a really good team on paper, but they didn't perform as well this year as you'd expect. And I think the Lions are just like they're at their point where they're trying to fight for that Super Bowl harder than anyone on the NFC side, probably just with Goff aging, and you're going to be seeing a new look team here soon. Seattle versus Dallas. I think Seattle's just the better team. Statistically, Dallas did honestly not play that exceptional. Honestly, even though they have a really good offense, their defense is not very good. If I'm not mistaken. And Seattle's still a very stacked team. And then this one, I think could go either way because your game against the Commanders was close when you met in Week 10, if I'm not mistaken. And I think there's a shot that you guys could win, but I do think the Commanders are still just a better team overall, and they move on. And then I have the Giants beating the Lions. I think actually that's messed up. My apologies, folks, but I will on the fly change it in my head, so ignore that part. So the Giants would be taking on the Commanders. I think it's gonna still be the same result in the championship. I have the Giants beating the Commanders. I think the Giants are just an insanely good team this year. I mean, these are two of the best defenses actually going head to head in that situation. But I think Giants defense is like really, really insanely good. I don't want to say historic because I don't know the stats on that, but it could be. And then Lions Seahawks. I think that one's a little closer than Giants Lions. But I still would take the Seahawks to win. I think they're just a better team overall. And then in the NFC Championship game, I have the Giants beating the Seahawks. I think it's close, but I think that defense is just insane. And then in the Super Bowl, I have the Giants winning over the Chiefs. But let's move to yours, and hopefully you also didn't make an error, so that we don't look both look like fools.
Yeah, I think I didn't, but I guess let's walk through it together and we'll see.
Yeah, I think you look all right from what I'm seeing here. Yeah, I think you're good.
Starting in the AFC wild card, we're definitely different on the AFC side.
Mm-hmm.
I have the Chargers upsetting the Steelers on the road, and I mean, it's Herbert, it's this, and I like the Chargers this season. I think they'll just pull off a win here on the road. And Bills Broncos, I went for the Bills. This was close because I think definitely, I think the Broncos could definitely win this game, but I just think that. I
think
I'm betting on Josh Allen. I'm a Bills fan, and I'm just gonna bet on Josh Allen.
You just love your Joshy poo.
To be honest, it's definitely strange because okay, just quickly to talk about this. The one seed in the AFC is 11-6, and that is also the record of the 5 seed, of course, with the Chiefs. That's not crazy and all, but. It was just a weird division because they also all went 3-3 in the division. That is 3 wins in the division, 3 losses in the division. Cursed division. They all made the playoffs. No, but I don't know which of these teams are good and which of these teams aren't. Which is the weird thing. Like at least in terms of divisional, which team owns who. They're all pretty even. That entirely unrelated to the fact the Bills beat the Broncos. I'm just gonna bet on Josh Allen here, and at home, Denver's coming to Buffalo. Give me Josh and the Bills. We do agree on the Jags-Chiefs game. I think the Chiefs will find a way to win that one against that Jags team, but they could very well go back to the Super Bowl if they get hot at the right time. They're just as likely as I think any other team. This is a close AFC. Moving to the divisional, Raiders, Chargers. I am high on the Raiders. I'm actually quite high on the Raiders. I know, on paper, I think they lost some talent this offseason, but I like ultimately where they are still, and I think the 1 seed for a reason. They've won games, and I think they're going to continue to do so here in the playoffs and beat the Chargers. But I think the AFC West games are a toss up ultimately. So maybe I think this is the most uncertain I felt about a bracket.
Yeah.
Bills Chiefs. Unfortunately, I did have to bet against my Bills in the divisional against the Chiefs. Chiefs are pretty good.
Yeah.
And in the championship, I actually went with the Raiders to make the Super Bowl. which I don't think has been a sentence said since 1980, since John Madden was still alive to watch us.
Um,
Rest in peace, John Madden. That was good.
I didn't they play
Rest in peace.
the Bucks in 2000 when they lost?
Oh,
It's Rich Gannon.
you are correct. That is a Super Bowl I forget. I think that there are definitely
Well, you
overlooked
weren't
because of the Bucks
alive.
before
I
this.
also wasn't
I
alive,
was
to be fair, but
yeah,
I know I recall that being a thing.
that's fair enough. Fair enough. That was a interesting Super Bowl. Anyways,
Yeah.
NFC wise, uh, things look I think a little bit similar here, a little more similar
Yes. The
at least.
pretty much the same for the most part.
Yeah, Detroit taking on the Rams. I did have Detroit winning this one. I think that they're in a pretty good situation here, and I think they could possibly make a run. But I think the NFC is more loaded than the AFC.
The high end,
At
yeah,
least
definitely.
high end wise. Like yeah, I
Yeah.
think the
There's
lows are low, but
there's some stacked teams
I
on
don't
the
know. There's a lot of
NFC.
for sure. Um, and Cowboys Seahawks, I have no faith in the Cowboys winning. But
Mm-mm.
they also, I think, last season didn't we bet against them last year, and they won a playoff game. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Uh,
and we bet for Seattle when they lost in the first. So it could go the other,
yeah,
but it's hard to bet against the Seahawks. They have Bijan and a
there's so
great
much
team.
talent. There's no way they're gonna lose again in the wild card,
Oh,
right?
well, they
I'm
will.
going
Now they're going to.
Seahawks. I'm going Seahawks there to go play Detroit. And lastly, Stallions Commanders. Of course, the Stallions are Super Bowl favorites, but I do have an upset here.
Oh,
No,
imagine.
the laugh wasn't necessary. The laugh wasn't, but Commanders win here. I think. I think it'll be a fun game, though. I think it'll be entertaining. I think obviously they played the regular season. It was a close game. Commanders squeaked out there with a win, and I
Yeah.
think they'll do so here as well in the wild card. We'll have a divisional matchup here. The Giants taking on the Commanders. I have the Giants winning that one ultimately. I think they're the better team, as you said, loaded defense. And I think their offense is also pretty good all around. Bucky Irving and company. Detroit taking on Seattle. I have Seattle winning this one as well. And we have the same championship here, Giants, Seahawks. But I do have an alteration here. I think Seattle is going to win it and go to the Super Bowl, as I
Okay.
predicted last time. But however,
Yeah.
I think this time the Raiders will win the Super Bowl and
Interesting, yeah.
hoist the Lombardi. I just have a feeling about the Raiders this season, but I'm ready to be completely wrong after
Yeah.
one simulation, and
Yeah,
it'll be fun.
I will say it's interesting because I feel like the NFC we are like pretty much in sync until the NFC Championship, and the AFC we don't agree. I think genuinely I think the Raiders might be the worst team in the AFC, and they have the best record. Like that's how like just it's more of a that's wholly based on the fact that they lost to the Battlehawks. But aside from that,
Yeah, they also lost.
they're a
We
good
also beat
team.
them as well.
You did, but
I,
you're a
I, I
playoff team,
just
so
have,
I give you a little bit more credit than that. But the Battlehawks
I
are
just have a,
terrible.
I
And they
got a
lost them.
feeling
I mean, it's
Baker
possible.
Mayfield and
They
Shenzi,
could.
like
They could. They looked
eh?
good. Even in the game that you beat them, they looked really good. But it's just the fact that they lost the Battlehawks, man. I can't get over that. So that's why I had them losing
Fair enough.
immediately. But they could totally still make the run. But it is finally time. Let's go into the playoffs. Voodoo, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and share your beautiful screen
Well, yeah.
so that we can watch your Stallions take on the Commanders and see if you can do the unthinkable and get the first ever UFD playoff win. And
Well,
yeah,
we're actually looking at overall wise, we're favored slightly.
There you go.
They're considered to have a better defense than us, but we're considered to have the better offense. So I think that's going to be the matchup to watch here. I mean,
And
look
it's a
at the
home
stats. It is at home for the Stallions. But yeah, their defense is pretty good. Fourth in points allowed, fifth in passing yards given up, and obviously that's where we thrive. The passing. Yards. They also have a good run defense as well, and their offense is solid. Not a bad offense, just middle of the pack on that side of the ball. And it's going to be interesting to see how the Stallions fare here in their first ever. We don't have Mike
you
linebacker.
gotta
Okay, well,
adjust someone to Mike, I guess.
what actually notably that does bring me to this.
Oh yeah,
We do have Mike Spillane missing.
I see.
So that is going to explain it. And Jalen McMillan is also missing. So actually, just real fast, if you bear with me. That's right.
Oh,
Okay,
yes,
that's
yes, Afton Chisholm time, baby. You're winning this game. If I knew Afton Chisholm was playing, I would have bet on you.
Caleb Arms or is a Mike? Do I need two Mike linebackers?
You got to move like Lobato to Mike
Yep,
just
that's
for the game.
what I'm gonna have to do. Let's do that. Actually, let's move Lobato to.
Yeah, it's I think
Exactly.
at Sam and Will you only need one on your depth chart at most. Like unless Sam doesn't technically need one, but then Mike you need two.
Yeah.
Especially if you're running you're running a 4-3. Well, I guess it doesn't change the difference. I don't think, but it doesn't matter either way.
Let's see if that works.
Should. There
we go. Look at that wild card.
Burgundy Bull.
No. The Burgundy Bull is Mr. Salami has said.
Too.
It's gonna be fun. Let's just bask in the atmosphere. Here we are. Birmingham hosting a playoff game with their first overall pick at quarterback. That is not the man leading them out of the tunnel. That's 12. Oh man,
that's Chris Olave.
Wow. Oh, that's the Commanders, right? That's not. They have kind of similar colors. In that.
Yeah, that's why I said the Burgundy Bull, buddy.
They're the same team.
I mean,
they're like the Niners and Commanders combined.
Yeah, I will say though, you got number 1 overall quarterback versus a number 2 overall quarterback. Different classes, obviously, but
a guy who was projected maybe to go first overall, but everything of course played out differently.
Absolutely.
All right, Here we go. Commanders start with the football here. Begin with a 4-yard pass to Wando Robinson. 4-yard run to Jonah Coleman, and quickly only 1 yard with Wandale, and they're punting it.
Wow.
Solid return there as well. Not a great punt and a good return. For Brockers, we start at the 32. Begin with a 4-yard run. Efton Chisholm, baby. And a first down. There's Jack Colbert. Efton Chisholm, by the way, has not recorded a single stat this season.
That's tragic.
So that was his first stat recorded. Maybe it's good luck. We're saving him for the playoffs. 4-yard run for Jordan Brockers after that Colbert first down on the ground. 2-yard pass for Tucker and incomplete pass deflection from Sanborn. We're gonna have to punt it here, touchback. So a bit quiet here. Two punts back to back, and we'll see a short pass to Wandale. 2-yard run for Chuba. There's a play. 15 yards for Olave as they get this going. That's another huge play. Terry McLaurin for 26 as they seem to finally be turning things on. 5-yard run for Daniels and a first down for Chuba Hubbard. 2nd and 8 here after another 2-yard run and a 3-yard run. Jonah Coleman makes up 3rd and 5 and they pick it up. First down, Chuba Hubbard through the air. 2nd and 10 here at the 10. Alarms are with the pass deflection here. 5-yard run for Jaden Daniels brings up 3rd and 5. And they score. Mondo Robinson with a touchdown brings them up 7-0. And we'll see what the Stallions can do. Big play there. Ted Hurst opens us up. Of course, he's actually starting. He's next. No, I'm lying to you. He's not starting.
I guess he's probably receiver 3 in the depth chart technically, but just
true. And that's another big play there. Mekhi Lemon for 16 as we're kind of striking back. That's a 6-yard sack. Juan Alonso with a nice play, incompletion. Now we're on 3rd and 16, unable to get it all back, and that's going to bring us to the second quarter where we're able to kick a field goal. Makes this a 7-3 ball game. Commanders start with the football once again. Hopefully our defense can step up here. 7-yard run for Jaden Daniels, another first down. Jonah Coleman on the ground. 4-yard run for Jonah Coleman, and nice pass there. Wando Robinson for 14. So they're getting things going. 5-yard penalty. That's Tosh Parker with the penalty and a first down. Jonah Coleman, incomplete pass. Cam Taylor-Britt with the deflection, another incomplete pass. That's Caleb Larms-Orr with his second deflection today, but that's a first down. Wandale Robinson picks it up with 11. Keeps their drive alive here. 2 yards for Chuba Hubbard through the air. They go backwards 2 yards with Chuba Hubbard. 3rd and 10, they score. 15-yarder for Chris Olave. And that's a touchdown yet again, 14-3 now. So Stallions really have to buckle down. 7-yard run for Brockers here starting out for the Stallions. 5-yard run for Colbert's incomplete pass for Colbert. And we're going backwards on a 10-yard penalty. Ryan Newsel. 3rd and 20 now for the rookie. And an incompletion forces a punt. So yeah, not a great start right now. We're down 2 scores. They have the football. Have to make a play. Hopefully our defense can do it. Incomplete pass. And that's a big play. That's not what we needed. 27 yards. Wando Robinson having a day here for the Commanders. And completely, again, just keeping the drive alive on 3rd down. 7-yard pass to McLaurin and a first down. Again, Wando Robinson. They're going backwards on a penalty. Emory Jones, of course, is a Commander. He's being a true legend of the Renegades right now. Only a 2-yard run for Jaden Daniels. 3rd and 14, we do get a stop here. Incomplete pass, hold him to 3, so it's still a 2-score game. Hopefully our offense can get moving. Incomplete pass for the rookie Colbert, 3 yards for Brockers. What happened? We scored a touchdown. No, we scored a touchdown.
Go back.
67-yard rushing touchdown.
Yeah,
Jack Colbert.
Yeah.
There he is. Big play Brockers with a touchdown.
Wow. There it is.
Wow, that is huge. Right as the 2-minute struck, but no one even saw him coming. Blows open the doors and suddenly makes this a 1-score game again as the Commanders. They respond to the one-play touchdown. Wandale Robinson, dude, 74 yards.
Game of his
career.
What is
happening?
Game of his life.
He is exploding on Birmingham.
Wow, you're really throwing a lot of euphemisms around, man.
There you go. 15-yard pass to Tucker. We're not going to go down without a fight, but James Pierce with the sack. 6-yard run and pass there, and that's not enough for a kick, unfortunately. So we punted, and 24-10 is the score. So it's now, again, a 2-score game because that big Wandale play after the Brockers run. So let's see if we can get something going here. 5-yard run for Brockers. A penalty gives us a first down. We get this to going here. 6 yards for Lemon. Almost a first down. Scott Matlock for 3 yards through the air, but we don't get it. We go backwards on a sack. And so we actually get nothing here, and we punt. Yeah, have to get a stop on the Commanders here. Raphael Collins for 5 yards. 4 yards for Tank Bigsby, and they get a first down. As their offense just looks really good right now. And 7 yards for Coleman and a big penalty. TJ Leonard, the rookie, is getting sloppy. Incomplete pass for Daniels. Incomplete pass for Daniels. And a touchdown, Terry McLaurin. Yeah, these big plays are killing us. We're down. Fucking
I agree.
Short circuiting now. 31-10 for the Stallions. Big penalty though helps us get to midfield, but we're going backwards. Sack for James Pearson. We're going to get 13 yards back with Lemon. Pick up the first with Scott Matlock, the fullback. Incomplete pass, 0-yard pass to Chisholm. Efton Chisholm with 10 yards. Another nice play there. That's Trey Tucker for 14. Gets us up to the red zone here with a 7-yard Brockers run. 1st and goal now with Brockers. Incomplete pass. And we get the touchdown. Jordan Brockers with his second of the day. Game's not over. We
Still
do
time.
Hopefully, defense has to wake up. Jonah Coleman loses 2 yards, and that brings us to the 4th quarter. Down 2 scores. The Stallions going to need to figure something out here. 3rd and 7 after that one, and they pick it up. Raphael Collins for 13, and they're just not getting off the field on 3rd down. That's really not good. As they pick up another first down, Jonah Coleman for 6. And this run game is just getting nice chunks, and that's a big play. Chris Olave for 20. 5-yard run here for Chuba, and that brings it up 3rd and 1 now, and they score. 38 points on the Stallions. That's a bit of a cold shower for Birmingham. It was definitely an entertaining game. It's fun moments.
It's not over yet.
Not over yet, but not looking good as the Stallions get a drive here. First down from Michael Mayer. Incomplete pass, and we're going backwards now with a Teron Payne sack. 4th and 15, and we go for it, of course.
Now it's over.
Now it's just about over.
Yeah.
So that's it's a quick exit here. Another touchdown for good measure. 45-17. Yikes. Yeah, no, it's not good. We're just gonna do a bunch of penalties and sacks.
Yeah, it's rough. I mean, and I think that the biggest thing was, I think when you looked at the stat comparison, this offense for the Commanders is like middle of the pack in the league, whereas your passing defense was near the bottom of the league, and I think that just enhanced them, and their defense was good enough to hold your really good offense.
Jesus
Christ. My God, stop batting. Stop batting
on us. He destroyed us. Average 10 yards a pass.
Jeez.
356, 6 touchdowns in a playoff game. Incredible day for Daniels. And Colbert didn't play terribly. He did not play terribly. I mean, 233, a touchdown, under 60 completion percentage. You want a little bit more, but not terrible. Rushing-wise, we had this doesn't seem right. Didn't he have a 67-yard touchdown?
Oh, it was a receiving touchdown.
Oh, it was a receiving touchdown. You're right. Coleman had a solid day. Brockers had a solid day when he carried. 5 yards of carry for him. It's pretty good.
Wow.
Of course. Yeah, Wandale Robinson had a career game. McLaurin and Olave, though, also had great games. I mean, it was really just Jaden Daniels putting everything out there. Rockers had the big play that kept us in it, but yeah, we just kind of got outpaced. And Ryan
Jeez.
Newsel and Larry, dude, come on.
Terrorists.
And
Terrorists.
Scott Matlock got in there to
Oh,
give up
man.
7 sacks. Even though I think we only take how many sacks we did. I guess we'll see on this
Yeah.
next screen.
Must have been at
Um,
least 7.
yeah, unfortunately, the backup linebacker he had to make a lot of tackles today, and it's not great. A couple TFLs across the board, 3 sacks for James Pierce, and yeah, they were just getting all over us. We didn't get a single sack today. Didn't sack him once. Didn't get a pick. Yeah, our defense was really just completely neutralized. We had, I think, like one stop early, maybe. I think it was
Yeah,
one,
there was a
and that was
punt
it.
in there. Yeah. Yeah, and that's obviously not a pretty nice game or anything to see your team end on, but again, at the same time, that just puts in perspective of these teams are still rebuilding. They're still not there yet. Because, like, even though we have wins over teams and that we shouldn't maybe have wins over, when it gets to the playoffs, you're talking about the best of the best teams, and we're still not necessarily there yet. That's just putting it in
It's
perspective.
fair.
You know, you have one less win. It's like, dang, the Commanders are just
Yeah.
a really good team, and the
Yeah,
Stallions
no, it was
still
weird
got a
because
little bit more.
we played them earlier in the season. Definitely didn't go as poorly.
No,
Let me
no,
check. Yeah, 20-17. It was we were able to keep them in check a lot more, but I think
yeah,
teams also just unleash in the playoffs. They really just no
yeah,
bars held and everything clicked for them here on the road, and that's the end of that game. But
yeah.
we have the rest of the playoffs to get through and more
We
coming
do.
up. So
Yeah, we'll go ahead and sim, and I will say at the bottom, I did see the outcome of the Chiefs game, but we'll look at it right now as we'll quickly go through these. But first, we'll start with the Steelers, who do. I guess I'm looking at your screen. I'll switch to my screen now. So Steelers win 21-17. We said it was probably going to be a close one. I ended up being right with this one, but it was very close. Steelers, pretty similar game, but they did outgain them. Bryce Kilgore, he's looked pretty good so far in his young career, especially this year. Looked really good. 274, 3 touchdowns. Didn't get sacked, and Herbert got sacked 5 times. That's, I think, the big one. Herbert played well outside of that, though, and both run games were pretty solid, pretty efficient. Bryce Lance was very good. Lad McConkey was good for the Chargers. Um, it doesn't even matter how good this Chargers O line is with all the players they get. They still seem to suck for some reason. Kobe Dean had the most tackles this game for the Chargers, but TJ Watt had 2 sacks. Saw Taj Wagner with a sack, the rookie. Austin Agiak or something, Egiaki or something. I have no idea who this is. Will linebacker got a sack, and Peyton Wilson as well. Um, yeah, and 3 deflections for Nakobe Dean as well. Yeah, when it came down to it, I think the sacks really put the Steelers over the edge there on the win. But offensively, it was pretty balanced. Now, this one's a little bit more of a lopsided win than I thought it was going to be. I know I had the Broncos winning. I
yeah,
was right about that, but the Bills couldn't even put up points in the second half. They only put up 10 in the first. They pretty much lost the game in the at halftime. And yeah, Buffalo
yeah,
couldn't put up 300 yards. Denver put up over 400. No turnovers on either side, and pretty similar time of possession. But Bo Nix was just lights out. 344, 4 touchdowns. Allen wasn't bad. Both quarterbacks got sacked 4 times, but the run games. Oh my goodness, the Bills could not run the football. 11 for 11 for the rookie Matt Hemsley.
dude.
Looks like James Cook was hurt this game. That's probably a big
Mac
reason
Weber
why.
Mac Weber
Yeah,
also should have probably gotten more looks.
probably he
So
was a bit
leaving
more
it.
efficient. Obviously Allen was efficient on his 4 carries, and RJ Harvey wasn't even that efficient. It was really just a passing game. Sutton and Shakir were the leaders for them, for each team. Caleb Tiernan, who is the third year. Wow, third year. Didn't we just talk about this guy at some point? I swear we did. Jeez Louise. But gave up 2 sacks. So did Quinn Minor, surprisingly. But um, yeah, it's not a great game there. 12 tackles for Terrell Bernard. You saw Jonathan Cooper, 3 TFLs led, 2 sacks for Rousseau and Benito. Um, and then no turnovers. But yeah, it was just the Denver's defense was a little bit too much for the Bills. And then on the Chiefs game here, they completely just shut out the the Jags pretty much. They were up 31-7 going into the fourth quarter. It was just too much for the Jags to come back from. They put up 16, but it didn't matter. Chiefs had a ton of yards, 140 plus more yards. Time possession as well. Mahomes was literally on fire. Like, someone get a fire extinguisher, man. This guy's gonna die. He's on fire. But Trevor Lawrence, not terrible. But Mahomes was insane. Jeremiah Love was very efficient. Achan was not. And like, Travis Hunter led in receiving, and the Chiefs really, I mean, Mahomes just spread the ball out to his receivers really well. Ryan Morris, the second-year left tackle, gave 2 sacks, but Devin Lloyd with tackles there. Ben Burke had 2 TFLs, also a sack, a bunch of sacks across the board. Saw 3 forced fumbles for the Jags, but it didn't matter. Only one of them was recovered. That is unfortunate because those could have actually helped them, but they just couldn't seem to grab all of them. But yeah, I mean, this is so far my AFC prediction is spot on. Actually, all of my predictions are spot on, but we'll get into if you want to talk about the NFC side.
Well, technically, according to your bracket, you had the
Lions
going to play.
That was me being a dumbass. Not I am a good predictor, but not a good paying attention to the seeding guy. That's okay. If you want to talk about the NFC here.
Yeah, so we had identical, of course, accounting for the little error, we had the identical divisional NFC matchups, and we were both correct on this. Of course, you're currently perfect.
Woo! That's a first.
All across the board, so we'll see if that continues.
Probably not.
6 for 6. But yeah, NFC I think was a little more predictable, at least in the wild card.
Yeah.
But surely see things heat up here as Detroit beats the Rams. Rams actually had slightly more yardage, and also Lions turned the ball over twice. Let's get into this one. Ty Simpson, 259, a touchdown, looked pretty solid. 56 completion percentage is not great. Goff only had 100 yards.
Wow.
1 touchdown, 1 pick. He did not play well. I mean, he had a good completion percentage, but barely 100 yards. He also threw a pick. It's not good. This is why they won the football game. Okay. Jahmyr Gibbs, 161 yards on 14 carries with a 70 long, and he did fumble, but just doesn't matter. Devin Jackson was okay for the Rams, 13 for 51, but also Kalen Black got plenty of work, and it was 30 total carries for these two. And it's their new on-team. Gibbs, I guess, is Black and Gibbs. 50 yards of a touchdown for him. Also, Deion Knox, the third running back, also had a touchdown. They had 3 running backs with touchdowns.
What they're Sonic and Shadow, right? That would have to be based on because his last name is Black, right? That's pretty tough.
There you go.
That's pretty tough.
Sonic and Shadow, I like it. Receiving, Josh Downs, 7 catches, 125. Definitely,
dude,
Ty Simpson's favorite target today.
Laporta took all of the fucking work today.
6 for 77, nice. The touchdown. Yeah, he was the only guy for the Lions. He literally, he literally almost was basically the only guy.
Yeah.
Saw a little bit of Jameson Williams, 1 catch from Amon-Ra, and that's literally it.
Wow.
Detroit was just pure run, hard-nosed football and passing to the tight end. I love it. Blocking, there was quite a few sacks given up across the board. 3 for each team specifically, and all split amongst different linemen. Emmanuel Williams led with tackles, the rookie out of Miami. A few TFLs spread across the board, and 1.5 sacks for Nate Landman, who's had a pretty nice game here with also his 10 tackles. Hutchinson with a sack. Bobby Colbert, not associated with, maybe associated with, with Jack Gordon.
Not that we know of, but maybe.
Probably not. A couple other guys here with some sack production. Cameron Curl with the pick for the Rams, but it just didn't matter. Weird game. Just there's some fumbles as well. Nate Landman and Tyler Newman forced fumbles. I think they both recovered their own fumbles.
Looks like it.
Nothing else to really talk about. Otherwise, I mean, it was just some crazy run game from the Lions. We're able to do enough on defense to keep the Rams in check, so they move on. Concerning game by Goff, honestly. We'll see how he fares.
I mean, didn't have to rely on him, I guess, but that's going to be concerning against a better Seahawks team.
For sure. And yeah, speaking of the Seahawks, 34-17, they handle the Cowboys. They get out of the wild card. And yeah, they're hoping to make a run here with the talent they have. Yeah, Cowboys turned it over twice. Seahawks had more yards. Seahawks actually did not have the time of possession lead. So let's break this down real quick. Sam Darnold, 241 and a touchdown, 62 completion percentage. But yeah, Rashad Beasley, the rookie, 2 picks today. Also was sacked twice, 57 completion percentage. Had a touchdown, 200 yards. But yeah, just rookie stuff that's going to happen in the playoffs. Unless your name's Brock Purdy, I guess.
Yeah, I guess
Bijan Robinson, 107 yards, 2 touchdowns, 18 attempts. So he had a very nice day for Seattle. Javonte Williams is also solid, 69 yards, nice, and a touchdown. 15 carries. Rashad Beasley got involved a bit on the ground game. Sam Darnold got a touchdown on the ground as well. Receiving-wise, Rashid Shaheed was the best receiver today, 95 and a touchdown. Dylan Shepard as well, though, the second-year man out of Utah, 85 yards on 6 catches. George Pickens with a nice amount of yardage here. Same with Jalen Coker, very nice yards there.
JSN was hurt too, and they still won by 17.
True, that's a good point. Yeah, JSN has to be injured. I think.
Have to.
I was going to say CeeDee Lamb was injured, but he was not injured. He was just a bum.
He just did nothing. That's all.
He disappeared. Of course, you have the starting tackles for the Cowboys. Fano and Alt gave up sacks. Ernest Jones was the tackle machine, 14 today for him. A couple of TFLs across the board. 2 sacks for R. Mason Thomas, who's developed very well for them. Pick for Ernest Jones and a pick for the rookie Jadarius Williams out of North Dakota. Also, Ernest Jones with 2 deflections and nothing else I think really to talk about for that. Just Seattle was the better ball team, beat the rookie quarterback and advance to the next round. And we do not have to talk about the last game as we witnessed it. Commanders win and are going to play their division rivals.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're just going to go ahead and sim and see if my perfect prediction can keep going. I don't think so. It's just very unlikely. But we'll see. You never know.
You never know.
And it's definitely not right.
Yeah. No.
So, where I was right was that the Raiders are frauds and the Broncos were going to smash them. That is the horse I am riding on here. And they just went out with a hot start, put up 21 points in the first half, held Raiders to 0, and then put up 21 more points in the third quarter. And the Raiders said, we can't do much more. And the yardage wasn't that crazy of a difference. About 90 yards still going towards the Broncos. They did get 2 turnovers from the Raiders as well. Time of possession very similar. But again, Bo Nix, man, he's looked crazy this playoff run. He has like 9 touchdowns in 2 games.
Yeah.
Put up 5 this game here. Very good game, 281 yards. Baker threw 2 picks. Not bad outside of that, but still can't throw those 2 picks. Rico Dowdle was pretty efficient, and so was Genty, but they had to throw it at a certain point. So he couldn't get as much work. Saw Freddie Patton touchdown on the ground for the Broncos. Cortland Sutton, crazy game, 7 for 114 and 3 touchdowns. Tez Johnson, former Renegade, with a nice game for the Raiders. Mims had a touchdown. So did Dawson Knox, who's a Bronco, and Josh Cameron, Raider. Couple sacks, 2 for each team spread out. Drew Sanders led Raiders with the tackles 11. 2 TFLs for each team, it looks like there. Did see a sack for Lamont Mixon, the rookie first-round pick, or he's a second. He fell out of the first. I'm pretty I'm wrong. No, he was a first, right? I think so. But this doesn't matter. And then Dion Henley had a sack as well. A couple of half sacks in there. And then Surtain and Brandon Jones had the picks. It's just Broncos, just their defense is so suffocating, and they you hold the Raiders from scoring in the first half, and Bo Nix is throwing 5 touchdowns. I think you're in a good spot.
That's right. Yeah, I definitely underestimated the Broncos for sure.
I think so. I underestimated the Steelers though, and I think you did too, more so. But I underestimated them here because I didn't think they were gonna win. But this is the type of game that they needed. Really low scoring game, keeping the Chiefs to only 10 points. They traded field goals in the first and then second, 3-3, and then Steelers put up 7 in the third. And then the fourth quarter, they put up a field goal. The Chiefs put up 7, but it wasn't enough. Only 50-yard difference there, but the Steelers did have the advantage. Steelers turned over the football twice, too, which is interesting. But they had a ton more time of possession. Kilgore outside of the interception, very efficient. Only sacked once. Their O line has been doing really well because Mahomes got sacked 5 times, threw a pick. Not a great game. Wow, the run game though. Steelers ran the ball 28 times, but super inefficient. They only ran for about 3 yards a
Yeah, it
carry.
seemed like more of a device to control the
Just
clock and
and
not give
punt.
Mahomes the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Caleb Johnson did fumble it. Jeremiah Love was efficient, but again, couldn't really run it um, too much because of the time that they did have. They only had it for about 23, 24 minutes. DK Metcalf and Nick Ramirez, both with 70-plus yards. Bryce Lance had a touchdown. Brian Tobin, the rookie tight end, was the leader for the Chiefs, but again, that passing defense really shut them down, honestly. Trey Smith gave up 2 sacks. Ike Ikwanu actually looking not terrible today, even though he's been horrible for his career in the Pittsburgh uniform. Nick Bolton and Leo Chanel both had 12 tackles, 2 TFLs for Chanel and Jones. TJ Watt, 2 sacks in both playoff games. Saw Highsmith with 1.5. Burke did have one. Brzee as well. I forgot I sent him here. He has a sack. Joe Porter also has a half one.
You maybe loaded them up for a run.
Hey, man. I'm a Steelers fan, so I wouldn't hate it. Nick Bolton and Chris Johnson both with interceptions, but obviously one mattered more than the other because, no, Williams did have a fumble and recovery. But, yeah, surprisingly, the turnovers just weren't enough. The Steelers' defense is dangerous. They held Mahomes, Jeremiah Love, and all these weapons to 10 points. And Herbert only to 17. So, I mean, Broncos, I mean, that's gonna be a fun matchup. 2 really good defenses, but also Bo Nix has been lighting it up. So I'm interested to see how that goes. But
yeah,
how about the
immovable
NFC?
force versus no, it's gonna be interesting. NFC wise, all right, well, yeah, let's get started with probably the biggest upset.
Yeah.
I don't think neither of us expected this one at all. Giants lose to the Commanders, who maybe Stallions shouldn't feel so bad about the whooping they took. Maybe this is a really good ball team, got hot at the right time. No, but pretty even yardage wise. Turnovers none today, and Giants actually dominated time possession, so something's awry. Jaden Daniels actually had a great game. 215, 2 touchdowns, 68 completion percentage. Why does he have such a high passer rating? The stat line does not look like a 141.3.
I mean, didn't really have a lot of attempts to go off. He was just 11.3 yards per attempt. So he was just getting a ton of yards per completion. If you shrink that to completion, that's probably about 15 or so, probably more than that per attempt. So he's just getting a ton of chunks on every pass.
Fair enough. And Jackson Dart to a 218, 81 completion percentage. He was sacked 3 times though, and no picks, no touchdowns. So not much today for him. The run game, this is interesting. So yeah, Jalen Warren is of course running back 1 for the Giants. Bucky's hurt. So Jalen Warren, I think that might be pretty big here. Yeah. Jalen Warren had a solid game, 19 carries, 65 yards, average, I would say. Jordan Coleman had a slightly better game, 4 less carries, same yards, and a touchdown. Jackson Dart was doing a lot of work on the ground. 7 carries, 40 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He also fumbled twice. So that I don't think either of those were recovered because we didn't see any turnovers. So, but still notable. Wan'Dale Robinson with 90 yards. He continues a really hot playoff run against his former team as well. Has a great game. And former commander Jalen Lane is a little bit of a receiver former team showdown. Jalen Lane just couldn't keep up with Wan'Dale Robinson's big game playmaking. Couple other guys here. Neighbors with 60 yards on 6 catches. Tate 54 yards on 6 catches. Olave with the touchdown. Blocking wise, a couple of sacks given up. Of course, Giants gave up more than the Commanders. 15 tackles for Zach Bond. A few TFLs all across the board here for both teams. Zach Bond 1.5 sacks as well. 1 sack for Abdul Carter. Half a sack for Deron Payne, James Pierce, and Willie Gay. No picks. Again, those forced fumbles that were on Jackson Dart didn't end up mattering. Neither were recovered, and I think that is all she wrote. Anything interesting? I don't think so. Oh wait, actually no, it doesn't matter. Commanders missed a kick, but
Mm. Could
ultimately
have
they still
been.
won the game.
Could have
So
been something, but it wasn't.
could have been. And yeah, currently, so the only team I think in my bracket that is still kicking is the Seahawks. So
Wow.
go Seahawks! Seahawks win against Detroit. Actually, handle them. They
Yeah.
are looking like the team that they are on paper,
Yeah.
which is a super team. I mean, okay, again, this is weird.
Yes.
400 yards for the Lions, out-yarded them quite intermittently, and I can see already, yeah, rushing yards dominated by the Seahawks and passing yards the other way around. So we'll see that in a second. But Lions also turned the ball over twice,
Huh.
which probably also,
Yeah, that'll do it.
yeah, that'll help. Even time of possession, let's break it down for you. 365, 2 touchdowns for Goff, solid, 1 pick, 3 sacks. And yeah, 71 completion percentage, pretty solid. Better than Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold did not do well today. 143, 10 for 18, so 55 completion percentage. He did not play well. But what the Seahawks did do well was employ the run game with a total of, I believe that's 33 carries. If I'm doing the math right, that's
so between those two, yeah, and then you add in Darnold
yeah.
or Hankerson, 37.
Hankerson with his one touchdown. There you go. But yeah, no, Tracy and Robinson had a great game, especially Robinson, 90 yards, 2 touchdowns on 17 carries. Tracy also had 2 touchdowns on 58. So it was just purely run fueled today for Seattle. The Lions, of course, had a great run game last week with Shadow and Sonic, I think as you termed it. But unfortunately, I think Shadow was either injured or he just didn't get reps.
One of the two options. Yeah.
Yeah, no. So Goff also had a run for 60 yards. I don't know why I mentioned that. It's completely irrelevant. 94 yards for Jameson Williams. You should go by every single stat matters. Every single stat. 94 yards for J-Mo, 7 catches. 86 yards for Laporta on 6 catches. He did a lot on the and through the air. 75 yards and a touchdown. Not Jameer, dude. I was going to say Jameer Gibbs again. Jackson Smith and Jigba, 75 yards, had a nice day. A couple other guys here. Amon-Ra with a touchdown and such down the board. Isaac Seumalo with 2 sacks given up.
Former Renegade.
Yeah, these Steeler player names are messing me up. Actually, well, you had Davison Igbinosun, so you know what?
Yeah, but you've had a lot more of them than I do, and you still say Amon-Ra St. Brown wrong and Tierra Tart. Yeah, I'm not gonna. I haven't corrected you on this. Amon-Ra.
Well, here's a name you can't tell me I got wrong. Dennis Christmas with 12.
Oh yeah.
Can't tell me I got that wrong.
I mean, maybe I don't know how it's pronounced. He might pronounce it Christmas.
Dude.
Denise. It's Denise, not Dennis. Like how Danielle Hunter's not Danielle, it's Danielle.
God. 2 TFLs for Sam Chapman, 2 for DJ Reed Jr., who is a fossil at this point. Zane Durant, 2 sacks, 1 for AJ Halsey, half for Chapman, half for Hutchinson, and a couple other Seahawks there. And a pick for the second-year man out of Minnesota, Najee Hendricks. He also forced a fumble that he recovered. So Najee Hendricks was trying his heart out today and proved pretty huge for the Seahawks, getting those 2 turnovers on the Lions and helping them get to the championship. So we will see either the Steelers or the Broncos representing the AFC, or the Seahawks and the Commanders representing the NFC.
Yeah, there you go. And fun little thing, the NFC Championship is the Washington Bowl. You got Washington State versus Washington D.C. So that's fun.
There you go. What's the AFC Bowl?
The 2 really good defenses bowl. I don't know. There's a fucking Emmanuel Sanders.
Wilson Bowl. The Russell Wilson Bowl. There you go.
Sure. Emmanuel Sanders is maybe the more good option.
The Bubby Brister Bowl.
Was he a Bronco?
Bobby Brister was a backup.
I just know him as a Steeler. Okay, I didn't know he was a Bronco. Well, there you go. Yeah, the Bubby Brister Bowl. Wow, close ones for both, but Steelers get it done. Bryce Kilgore, who we were a little lower on, but he's proven us wrong here, was 17-13 win, defensive game, but Steelers put up 10 points in the fourth quarter, and they were down, and they needed it, but very close yardage-wise. one turnover for the Broncos, probably a key reason why they lost. Similar time possession. Kilgore, though, again, doing pretty good. No turnovers on his end. Was sacked 4 times. Bo Nix threw a pick. Didn't throw any touchdowns
Yeah,
today. Was
man.
sacked 4 times, but was efficient
They
otherwise.
shut. They definitely shut him down though, because he
Yeah,
was going crazy in those first two games.
absolutely. Dowdle was very solid on the ground, very efficient. Scored a touchdown. Caleb Johnson was not great, but he scored a touchdown. Um, Again, the Steelers' run game has been very interesting because they're not super good, but they are able to chew clock. Troy Franklin had 11 for 135. It didn't matter. Nick Ramirez had 84 and a touchdown. Um, Blocking wise, Ike Kwanu, I take back everything I said. You are trash. He had 2 sacks. So did Caden Proctor, who's also a terrorist. Mark McGee, the rookie Mike linebacker with 11 tackles for the Steelers, led the team. Only 2 TFLs, Zach Allen and Nick Benito. McGee had 1.5 sacks. So did Billy Foster, the rookie for the Broncos out of Florida. Jonathan Cooper as well. Brian Brzee had a sack. Taj Wagner, the rookie first-round pick, also had a sack. Couple of half sacks in there as well. The pick for Peyton Wilson and a handful of deflections, and that is it. But yeah, I mean, 2 just incredible defenses going head to head, and Steelers defense, I mean, got that turnover off of Bo Nix and held Bo Nix to 0 touchdowns instead of 4 or 5, which he had before. So my Steelers are going to the Super Bowl against a team they've beaten in the Super Bowl before. But how about these Seahawks here?
Well, Seahawks. My predictions were butchered pretty quickly, but I'm riding on the Seahawks. Pause. Because I had them go to the Super Bowl and they did it. They've again proved that they're a good football team. But Commanders made it close. This team is a genuine contender apparently, and we were not aware of their game as they lose in a narrow one here, 23-20. Pretty even offensive yards. Both turned the ball over twice. And the Commanders dominated time of possession. They were just trying to bleed out the clock against that powerful Seahawks team. Jaden Daniels, 233, a touchdown, a pick, 63 completion percentage. And Sam Darnold is just bad. He's not playing well. He's playing bad. 2 picks, 160 yards, 45 completion percentage. That's bad. He threw 2 touchdowns, 9 completions. Like, oh my God. He is okay. Bijan Robinson is him. And yeah, wow. Absolutely ridiculous. 170, 14 attempts. He had a 96-yard run and a touchdown, of course. Jonah Coleman had a pretty good day as well, 5.3 a carry. And 79 yards on that one. And Tyron Tracy complimented him, 21 yards. Complimented Bijan, that is. And Chuba Hubbard had a touchdown for Washington. Receiving-wise, Jackson Smith-Njigba was the only man that the Seahawks needed to pass to, really. Two touchdowns, 106 yards. And we saw Wandale and Olave and McCoy have solid days. Wandale had the touchdown and continued a great playoff stretch of games. But ultimately, they just couldn't win this one. And 2 sacks for each team given up. 12 tackles for Ernest Jones, Najee Hendricks, and Dennis Christmas. A bunch of tackles for Seattle players here. So they did a good job wrapping up. Odafe Owe with 2 sacks. 1 sack for Deron Payne, half a sack for Pierce Jr. and Drazan Newton. A pick for Tyrese Knight, a pick for Quan Martin, and a pick for Mansour Delane. And there was also another, it was this Nick Emanwari fumble here for a fumble. Wait, no, I'm lying to you. You've been lied to.
I was gonna say, I was like,
Boye Mafe. I don't know where I got.
I don't know.
I'm even worried from, but yeah, Boye Mafe with a fumble and a recovery, ended up being huge in this close game. And also, there was a missed kick. The commander and Andre Smith.
It was blocked.
Was
Aziz Ojulari here? I'm looking at it.
Weird because it says on the kicking screen there was no field goals blocked.
Maybe no. It
was the extra point
was blocked. Interesting.
Oh, so yeah. I think we mentioned the Commanders kicker missing a kick last game. It didn't matter.
Yeah, but he missed it from up to 39 yards. That's not good. And that would have been that's a tire right there. So that's huge actually. That missed.
So that was an interesting comment you made that ended up
Wow. Foreshadowing.
Yeah,
Foreskin.
foreshadowed that, and that's not good. No. So Seahawks Steelers Super Bowl here.
A little rematch of
Definitely.
I couldn't remember the number. It's like Super Bowl 40 or Super Bowl 30. No, I don't know. It was the one where the refs were really on the Steelers side. Uh
Oh, hey, I don't think you mind that as a
hey
what
man.
do we call this one? The this is also a Russell Wilson Bowl. There you go. More
Wonderful,
Russell
man.
Wilson Bowls.
Wonderful, man. Oh, hold on. What was that one? Oh, there's a Steelers Seahawks tight end. He was like a third string tight end that I can't remember the name of. Oh, um, man. I
Oh, you
would
gotta think. You gotta think about it.
I do, man. I do, but while we think about it, let's
Is it Nick Vanette?
no, it was no. Oh, yes it is. It is Nick Vanette. You're 100% right. He was also a Bronco, which would have worked for the last game too. So there
Oh
you go.
wow, the Nick
Uh
Vanette Russell Wilson connection
there you
strong right
go.
now.
It is, but let's look at the Pro Bowl roster and just see what in it UFD players are here. None in the NFC quarterback situation, which is not surprising. Kenneth Walker as RB2. That is fun. Scott Matlock, the
My
fullback.
fullback.
There you go. He
Wow.
definitely had some opportunities. Jeremy Bernard, not a shocker to see him. Wow, really good receiver year. If we didn't see Micaiah
Yeah.
Lemon,
Wow.
wow.
Yeah.
Um, no, none of our tight ends. O line, Peter Skoronski, who joined halfway through the year, gets in there. Leo Riddick, Lamar Riddick, uh, for your Stallions is in there. Matthew Bright, the center for the
Nice.
Kings, is in there. Um, and moving to the defense, Nick Scorton, edge two, left edge two specifically. Let's see who else. Watson was on the Stallions, right? Nathaniel Watson, he was their Sam
Mm,
linebacker.
no, I
Not
think you're
Stallions,
thinking of
Battlehawks.
yeah, I think
Battlehawks.
it was Battlehawks.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
yes.
said the thing wrong. And obviously, CJ Allen, Mike linebacker, he's been awesome. Servosha Dennis, lock for the Will one every year for the Battlehawks. Cam Taylor Britt, corner one for your
Nice.
Stallions
Wow.
with those four
Interesting.
picks. Kenny
There you
Moore for
go.
the slot corner for the Kings in here at corner two. Uh, and Tyke Smith makes it there as strong safety too for my Renegades. Jack Stonehouse,
Stonehouse.
yeah, he was
Yeah.
very good for the Kings. And I could not tell you who the hell these players are for. But not too bad. Receiver years are crazy. Which, by the way, we forgot to look at it, so we'll look at it real quick since we were reminded of it. The overall, just like stat leaders here. Joe
Yeah.
Burrow back on top of the passing yards. I say that with a lot of sadness and disappointment in my voice because we see it all the time. Passing touchdowns though goes to Josh Allen. Most interceptions thrown was the rookie Rashad Beasley, but honestly, not a he was trucking the ball a lot. He had 31 touchdowns, so not terrible.
Yeah, no,
Just got
that's
to
makes
work on
sense.
the picks a little bit, but least amount of picks for a starter was Trevor Lawrence with 4 and Brock Purdy as
Wow.
well. Um, sorry, Jordan Love, not Brock Purdy. I looked one lower. Highest completion percentage for a starter was Joe Burrow, 72 completion percentage. Man, crazy. Lowest for a starter was Tyler Shuck, stinky boy, 56.
Yeah, he's poop.
Yeah. Most sacks on a quarterback, Daniel Jones with 58, Colbert 57, and 56, Perry Little, who was tied with Stroud, so that's fun.
Oof.
Least amount of sacks on a starter was Trevor Lawrence with 32. That's good reason why they made it so far. Um, by so far, I mean the wild card. Uh, Bijan led in yards. He's been awesome, obviously. Although the most attempts was not him by a couple. Curtis Smith for the Steelers had almost 300 attempts, and actually he was still very solid.
We saw that in the playoff run where he was just grinding
Yeah,
carries.
yeah, but he was much more efficient in the regular season. Bijan had 5.9 average. The highest average for a starter, I think, was Genti with 6.1, which is insane.
Wow.
Larion Hampton had 19 touchdowns, led the league. Most fumbles was Parker Washington on his 6 rushing
Wow.
attempts, and who knows how many catches he had. Um, Receiving wise, most catches Jamar Chase 127. Oh my goodness.
Oof.
You do see Denzel Boston up here as well as Shakir, Lemon, and Tobin. Tobin is going to be offensive rookie of
Yeah,
the year in the
dude.
AFC. There's no way he's not, right?
Yeah,
101
no,
catches, 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns for a
he's the
rookie
new
tight end.
Kelsey, man.
Yeah,
Crazy.
he's filled in that role. They really were like, we're gonna hold on to Noah Gray just for this Brian Tobin guy. Um, but receiving leader in terms of yardage was Khalil Shakir with 1,600. He also led in touchdowns by 3. So he has been awesome in simulation for Josh Allen. Um, Looking at blocking, who was the biggest terrorist in the NFL? Cade Glenn with 29 sacks. That's terrible. That I think it's the highest one we've seen. Although I said that every
What?
year, that is horrific. Yeah, cut this man immediately. This guy stinks. He gave up 5 sacks in a game. Um, yeah, brother, you need a
Dude,
new job. I
how
think.
is that happening?
He's trash. 5 sacks against the Titans, and they only lost by 2. He also gave up his first 4 games. He gave up 13 sacks, and he didn't even give up sacks in
Wow.
the against the Jets. So he gave up 4, 5, and then 4, and he won. They won against the Chiefs in that game somehow. He is horrible. Uh, Caden Proctor and Carson will also get the honorary badge of being bad in there. Defensively, leader in tackles, CJ Allen by 11 with 181. Wow. Gabe Yakis with 22 TFLs. A ton. Sacks, 21 and a half for Abdul Carter. Probably going to be Defensive Player of the Year. We'll see. Interceptions wise, Marte Mapu was the leader, as you spoiled earlier. Deflections wise, Barrett Carter with 14. Most fumbles forced. Handful of guys with 3. Yeah, there's that. Recoveries, I would say probably going to be 3 for Schlesinger. Probably not 6 because that's, again, still weird glitch. Actually, a lot of blocks this year on punts and kicks. Handful of safeties and a
Wow.
handful of defensive touchdowns. Actually, quite a bit of those fun little stats. We'll just quickly look. Who's the best kicker in terms of field goal percentage? That's a full-time starter. Evan McPherson only missed 1 field goal and it was blocked. Actually, both his misses were blocks. It was
Wow.
1 PAT, 1 field goal. He should probably win kicker of the year with that stat line. Boswell was very good. Borregales was very good. Charlie Smith had the most attempts, though, so you got to give him that. Longest field goal, Cam Little with 59. Eric Watkins, the rookie kicker, could not catch a break. 3 blocks on regular kicks and then 1 extra point block. Is brutal. that is so
Yeah,
brutal.
it's rough.
Man, imagine. You're like, man, I can't even get a break. Charlie Smith made the most, attempted the most 50 plus, and also made the most by 3. Wow. What a guy.
Damn.
Jack Stonehouse had the most punts. Best average was Corliss Waitman for the Titans. There you go. Only 3 blocked punts. And yeah, I mean, there you go. But as we move on here, we'll go ahead and sim and we'll see what the awards look like. And then we'll sim the Super Bowl and see Steelers or Seahawks win. So, yearly award, MVP goes to Josh Allen still. Burrow's at 3. I'm actually surprised because his completion percentage was very good. Ty Simpson at 2. But Josh Allen at 1. So there you go. There's your boy.
Love it.
Obviously, none of our guys are going to be here yet. Coach of the year goes to Brian Daboll. Troy Gerp at 3. There you go.
Ooh.
I mean,
Wow.
fair enough.
Okay.
Wow, Greg Glockenspiel got 6th. That's kind of crazy. There you go.
Nice. Get some rap in the division.
Yeah.
I like how last year when you won made
I
the
wasn't
playoffs,
in there,
you didn't
man.
even get
I
a
wasn't in there.
nomination.
Nope, and I was also 10-7. That's crazy, right? We'll just go quickly through the AFC sides, just the winners. Khalil Shakir wins Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Nick Benito. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Nick Ramirez, the other receiver I was debating drafting. Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Dylan Hearns. I don't even know who he is, so there you go. Best QB, Josh Allen. Best running back, Josh Jacobs. Best receiver, Khalil Shakir. Best lineman goes to Creed Humphrey. Best D-line goes to Nick Benito. Best linebacker, J.O.K. Best DB, Jacob Parrish for the Bengals. And then Evan McPherson does win best kicker for the AFC. In the NFC, Bijan Robinson wins it, which not shocking, but wow, Jeremy Bernard at 2. He deserves it.
Oof. Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely. Simpson's also at 3
yeah,
as a quarterback.
yeah, there you go. And then Kenneth Walker at 10. We get a little nod there. That's nice. I'd like to see a Ty Felton, brother. One of these things is not like the other. What are you doing here, buddy? Defense player here does go to Abdul Carter. But wow, Marte Mapu at 4. I mean, deserved.
True. Yeah.
He was all over the place. Nick Scourton at 6, which fair enough. CJ Allen at 8. And Daniil Hunter at 9. So a lot of Kings and Renegades representation there. Offensive rookie of the year. Let's go over Colbert. Zach Lacey wins it. Although it looked like, I feel like Colbert for like if you took out that middle like 5 games, I think he'd probably win it. But there's middle
That's
5
fair.
games.
You know, Zach Lacey just had so many big plays. Like he
Yeah.
had so many of them I could remember vividly.
Yes.
It makes sense. It makes sense for sure. But
I'll take it. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of our guys in here.
yeah, good draft for I think everyone.
Yeah, he's Jack Colbert at 2, which I'm sure he was close to winning that. Perry Little at 3, also Rashad Beasley for the Cowboys, but Andrew Cooks at 5, Shantavius Lowry at 7, and then Russ Thurman with his 7 catches and a touchdown or 2 touchdowns for the Kings made it there. Defensive rookie year, there you go. TJ Leonard.
There we go. Wow. I was not expecting that. I thought Cole Good was. I thought he was.
Didn't Cole Good have more sacks too?
Pretty sure. Maybe. That's
I don't know.
Interesting.
Especially from a D tackle position, you'd expect less sacks, but that's fine. It's fine. You can have it. TJ Leonard had a good year, but Cole Good was too. And then we see Kadeem Hickson at 8, even with missing 5 games. So there you go.
Nice.
And no other players in our division. Ty Simpson wins best QB, and you see Daniel Jones at 7. That's the only one in our division, which, I mean, I wasn't expecting R3, but also shout out to Jamie Ortiz at 5. Shout out. Best running back goes to Bijan. Kenneth Walker at 3. Love that. No one else in our division. It's a lot of running back splitting for our division otherwise. Jeremy Bernard wins receiver of the year in the NFC. Very fair.
Not even top 10 for Lemon.
That is crazy. What did Ty Felton do? Jordan Tyson made it too. That's crazy. I'm surprised that Lemon didn't even make it in here. That's wild. But Jordan Tyson's here, so good for him. And Bradley Norton for the Rams, another Rams player. Cole Strange.
Dude, get out of here!
And then behind him, Jedrick Wills, a true terrorist. And then Jordan Meredith. And then Manny Connor, who played like he played 2 games or something for me, the rookie. And then love that. That's good stuff, man. Best D lineman goes to Abdul Carter. That's not shocking. Nick Scourton at 5 for the Renegades. Daniil Hunter at 7 for the Kings. And then Rashawn Gary at 9. There you go.
Nice.
Best linebacker goes to CJ Allen. Marte Mapu right behind him for the Kings, though. Servocia Dennis as well for the Battlehawks at 3. And that is it for the division on that. And then Jeremy Chin wins best DB in the NFC. Stallions, Cam Taylor-Britt with his 4 interception year at 3. Jonas Sanker and Tyke Smith both at 4 and 5. Kenny Moore at 6 for the Kings. And then best kicker goes to Chris Boswell for the Rams. A lot of Rams winning these awards this year. You'd expect them to be better than 9 and 8. Charlie Smith at 5 feels low, but I get it at the same time. Cam Little at 6 there for your Stallions. Will Farron at 8 for the Kings. And that is the awards there. So, there you go. Very, very interesting awards for sure. Any takeaways for you there while I write down a couple of these stories for these players?
Oh, you're good. Yeah, no, as you said about the Rams, definitely would have expected them to be better than 9 and 8, considering all the talent they had with how well Ty Simpson was playing. But think just maybe, sometimes you have like a lot of superstars and things still don't really click. Um, yeah, no, it's definitely interesting though, how that shook out. I mean, it's a tough NFC because we also mentioned, of course, guys like Lemon who hit 1,400 yards, not even a top 10 receiver in the conference.
Yeah, it's
In the
crazy.
conference is crazy. Sorry, he had 1,300 yards, but still 4 touchdowns as well. Like that, not even a mention. This is it just is a testament of how wild this NFC is with, of course, elite veterans, not veterans, but studs like Ty Felton in the
Yeah.
prime of their
Speaking of,
career.
I need to see what a Ty Felton season looks like. He was
Yeah,
not better than Lemon. 78 for 11, almost 1,112 touchdowns.
the touchdowns are going to give
Uh,
him the nod
I
though.
guess, but still, I mean,
Ah,
it's
brutal.
that's man. Maybe if Kamani Vidal would have given him like 4 touchdowns, maybe it says Kamani Vidal
Oh,
touchdowns. Um, but yeah, okay. Well, are you ready to see? This will be the last thing we do here.
um,
Simming to
just
see.
checking my dev traits real quick.
Oh yeah, let's
Uh,
let's do that real quick too. I'll look on my end as well.
ooh, got some fun ones here, but go.
Oh well, I was gonna look. I mean, I'll just say mine, I guess, out loud. Uh, did Zach? Okay, Zach Lacy went up to star because he was normal dev, so that's nice. Um, hoping he'll go up further next year. Outside of that, that is, well, Kenneth Walker didn't go up to X Factor, which again, we don't have abilities on, so it doesn't matter in that regard. It's more for the XP. Uh, but offensively, that's the only change was Zach Lacy. Um, otherwise, I think Cole Good was already star. Nick Scorton didn't go up to superstar. That is kind of crazy. Um, I'm not. I think Dax Hill went up to superstar. No, he was already superstar. No, I don't think anything else changed other than Oluokun going down from X Factor. Yeah, nothing super crazy here on my end. Surprisingly, I figured there's gonna be a couple. How about you? Anything big?
Fair enough. Well, Renardo Green isn't a superstar anymore.
He's an X
He's
Factor.
been. Oh no, he's not that
Oh
either.
man,
Unfortunately,
tragic.
tragedy truly, but
Man,
that's
I
okay.
may have absolutely just fleeced you.
No, he's still he's comeback season next year. Stay
Okay, yeah,
tuned.
there you go, there you go.
Cam Taylor Britt does have superstar though,
Yeah,
so
there you go.
that was a good dev up, and TJ Leonard gets superstar because of the defensive rookie of the year nod. So
Nice.
that's good for him. Offensively, I don't think there was anything changed here. Um,
Lemon was
yeah, no, it was
already.
really.
I'm surprised Lemon again. That's kind of the touchdowns. They're so touchdown dependent. Also, Trey Tucker not going up to star is kind of crazy after his year.
Yeah, he's had multiple 1,000-yard seasons and not even stars. Yeah, it's a little
Yeah.
disrespectful, but it's
Where's
okay.
the Kamani Vidal
Um,
star dev, man?
he does deserve a dev, honestly. All those touchdowns
Yeah,
reminds
man.
me of the that one. There's that one Family Guy gif where he's like eating all the food.
Man,
But
I'm not a
yeah,
Family Guy slopping
I'm
for
not
wear
either.
like you.
But hey, hold on now. Why are you throwing strays that you
No,
can't even
I'm
throw? Hey,
kidding.
man.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Hey, you enjoy. You go watch the 2002 Super Bowl, whatever you were alive for.
Man,
Unk.
I will, and I will love it. Because that's what real football was. But anyway, speaking of Super Bowls and speaking of real football, let's watch Steelers Seahawks. Well, we're not gonna watch it. Let's advance it and see who is the Super Bowl champion in year 3 of the UFD
Let's
franchise.
see.
I mean, Steelers defense has been insane, but it was a blowout, and the Seahawks absolutely just destroy the Steelers, 31-3. Wow. And Sam Darnold wins Super Bowl MVP. That is brutal. That made TJ Watt retire. He said, I'm done. We made it to 1. I'm good. Um, wow. I guess let's just quickly look through that because that is probably the worst Super Bowl we've had, I think. Seahawks just completely dominated yardage wise. No turnovers. They dominated time of possession as well. Darnold actually looked solid, but wow, Bryce Kilgore, his worst game of the playoffs, also sacked 6 times. The O-line did not play well. Darnold got sacked 4 times. But yeah, 44
44
completion
completion
percentage.
percentage.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
brutal.
wow.
Bijan also was insane, 6.5 yards per carry. He ran for 124 yards with only 11 as long. So there you go.
I think
Um,
Curtis Smith was injured.
it does. It looks like it, but does it? I feel like Caleb Johnson was actually doing fine. 4.5 yards per carry. He was efficient. It wasn't the run game that was as much of an issue.
It's
Tyron
true.
Tracy also got a touchdown. Bryce Lance had the yardage, but Kyle Williams had the yardage and a touchdown there. For the Seahawks, DJ Rogers, backup tight end, I guess, had a touchdown. So did Elijah Arroyo with his only catch. But AQ Kwanu is a terrorist. He's got to go elsewhere.
you, wow,
5
you
sacks.
actually, you planted the time bomb.
I did, apparently. 5 sacks. Charles Cross
Wow.
also was a terrorist, but he was outshined in his terrorist abilities.
Oh
Um,
no.
I feel like, yeah, the Super Bowl MVP may have gone to, it should have probably actually gone to Kwanu for the Seahawks should gift it to him because 5 sacks is just insane. But who tore his cheeks apart? Well, let's see. Only one tackle for a loss. It was actually a group effort. Tyrese Knight, 1.5. R.
It
Mason
was a
Thomas, one and
train,
a
one would
half.
say.
Dafe Onway with 1.5. Zane Durant with 1. Yeah, that they were just running.
Don't forget about
trains.
Jadarius Wilkins got
Oh
to
yeah,
go
man,
half a cheek as well.
they were all at it. Alex Highsmith had 2 sacks for the Steelers. Tried his heart out. T.J. Watt ended his career with a no sack game there. That's brutal. Unfortunate, especially because I was considering trying to go after him in free agency. But that's besides the point. He's retired. That's okay. But yeah, wow, Seahawks defense absolutely just obliterated Ike Ekwonu. And I honestly I couldn't even put that's literally the only person I can fully blame offensively for the Steelers is him because he was a terrorist. But Steelers defense also really their run defense was horrific today. So Seahawks just finally got the job done since the real life Super Bowl. Because we've been waiting. We've been like, man, this team's so stacked. They had Bijan signed, right? And they were close, but they lost here, and then the Vikings won the Super Bowl. Then they were close again. They lost. Actually, no, they were not close. I think they got wild card bounced, right? I believe. And Cole Payton won a Super Bowl for the Jaguars, and then the Seahawks come in, finally put it all together, and just outshine.
Yeah, no, Darnold. This playoff run for Darnold was not good. He did not play well, but it didn't matter. The team was too loaded, and everything else was clicking around him. So, had a nice trip to the Super Bowl, and he actually had a solid Super Bowl game. To be fair,
Yeah,
he held his own. It was a blowout. To be fair, and it still wasn't great, but hey, it was better than the Steelers, which is that's something.
Honestly, that was a reminiscent of the real life Super Bowl that just happened in real life. The Seahawks and Patriots, like just kind of just overall team dominance on defense. But let's quickly look through some retirements while we're here. Looking at the UFD, wow, big one, Ryan Newsel for your Stallions.
Wow, right, that's a little early.
You're stuck with Jordan Meredith again. you gotta find somebody to replace him. Jerome Ford, by the way, retires. He's done.
Oh, rest in peace.
Okay, these are 2 big ones because these are some of the best players on the Kings roster. Kenny Moore and Daniel Hunter both retire. So they're gonna have to try to fill those shoes. The long snapper for the Battlehawks leaves along with Damian Lewis. Renegades lose Colton McKivitz, which kind of expected, and David Edwards also retiring, which is fine. Otherwise, in the NFL, Carson Wentz, Dalton Schultz, Joe Mixon, Braden Smith, TJ Watt, Terry McLaurin. That seems pretty early for him, actually. Chris Boswell, Reggie Gilliam, legendary actor Bill Murray after 6 years, Marlon Humphrey, Chris Godwin, Hunter Henry, Kalen Black after 3 years retires. Wow.
What? That was Shadow. It's over.
It's over. Why? As quickly. Maybe he was hurt. Maybe he had a career-ending injury. Who knows? That's tragic.
Injured,
he did.
I'm sure he had an injury.
That's tragic. Patrick Ricard also retires as a Jag. George Kittle retires. It's finally Kenyon Sadiq season in Santa Clara after years. any other big names? I mean, Teron Johnson, Mike McGlinchey, Christian McCaffrey. Niners are gonna have or Cardinals are gonna have some work to do here in the offseason. Titus Howard, Dawson Knox, Cortland Sutton, who had a nice playoff run. Leonard Williams, Jonah Jackson, Ben Powers, John Runyon, Giants legend, Giants franchise legend for you. Matt Milano, Jabril Peppers, some other names in here, but most of these guys are free agents at this point, so it's nothing super crazy, but a couple interesting ones like that Kalen Black one was very surprising, especially because I feel like he was a nice 1-2 punch there.
Yeah, that was sad. That's the first like
real NFL
drafted player that we that's brutal.
Yeah. And then just one last thing, just something to look forward to. Mock draft is set in stone here, and Battlehawks at 5 looking to get Joshua Castillo to help out that edge group. At 8, Renegades projected to get Adam Veldman to also help out the edge group. Looking down at 15, whoa. Interesting. Kings projected to take Peter Greenwood, a running back out of Notre Dame. That's interesting because they still have Dobbins, and they have way bigger needs, but okay. And then all the way down to 23, Tom Cody projected to go here.
Tom Cody again. Yeah. I don't have any guys favorited. This is pure Madden.
They just think this is the guy that you need, apparently. They really want
you
to take
2 first names.
Yeah. They say never to trust a guy with 2 first names, but there you go. So other than that, I mean, I guess one question for you. Did your approval rating go up? Or are you still hating?
Oh, that's a good question.
Nope, went down actually after the playoff loss. We're down to 19% now, but hey, that's
weren't you at 12 before?
I think we were at 0 for a second.
Oh, okay.
We're back though. We're back, baby. So
I'm still at 77. Teams.
We're gonna turn on coaching firing, and I'm gone.
I don't know. We're gonna debate if we're doing that still. I don't know.
We'll have to debate that one, but no, it's interesting to see.
That is very interesting after a 10-7 playoff worthy season. They still won't like you. Maybe you're controversial. Maybe you're like a Deshaun Watson of coaches or something.
Oh no! No,
Troy Gerb was caught at a massage parlor.
He's gurping.
He's gurping on women for money.
Oh, God, Troy Gerb, stop it.
Yeah, but anyways, that's gonna be it, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed, and of course, next episode will be our favorite time of the year once again, the off season.
Absolutely,
and we'll see. I mean, the Kings are the only team left to win the UFD. Will they do it and complete the cycle, or will the Stallions repeat? Will the Renegades regain the division? Will the Battlehawks completely just shoot back up into being a good team? A lot of questions, and we're gonna see a lot of young quarterback play in this division next year, with Bernie Calhoun most likely starting. Not for sure, but we expect him to. Obviously, with the other 3 who've already been starting. And obviously, going to be some interesting free agent moves, and obviously the draft as well. So, Voodoo, do you have anything else you want to add?
I do not. I'm excited. Off-season up next, and that's the best time of the franchise, as we both agree.
Yes, sir.
It's the best time of the year.
It is. So, we want to thank you all for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Take it easy.